Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca, and here on my little corner of the web, I like to talk about budgeting and all things finance. And today I am sharing my May 2021 budget wrap up. So, if you're new to my channel, I live with my husband, and we are a dual income, no kids household in the North Texas area. So I don't share our first four sources of income, and I actually didn't fill it out this month, but I will go back in and fill that out after I do this, just for my husband's privacy. But I do share our total household income and anything in our miscellaneous category. So May was kind of a wacky month. I had planned on a low income month, and we actually had a really high income month in April, mostly due to stimulus check that came in, our last stimulus, and a bonus that Jared got from work. So what I had done is I had held $1,000 of our April income to be put as like May income, just because I thought it was going to be a low month. It ended up not being, but and so then I was going to move it to June, but I already near the end of the month I realized June was not going to be a low income month either, so I just decided to go ahead and like put it towards our goal anyway. So what I did was, instead of doing the $1,000, I actually did $750 that I put towards our goal, and then I actually kept the other $250 just like in our surplus that we keep in our account. We have like a buffer of $3,500 in our checking account, and I feel like it keeps shifting because we actually have two bank accounts that we use. So I just wanted to replenish one of them, so I just added $250. So now it should be a little bit higher. But so in miscellaneous income, to make a long story really short, was $766.58, and this includes like that $750, and then we had a little bit of bank interest, and we sold something. I can't remember what, but it was for like $12 or $10 or something. So our total income for the month of June was $7,344.97. So it was a pretty good month, especially considering that we were on vacation for the last week, and so we were not really making, or I was working while on our trip, but my husband was not, so he was not making any money. But the first item in our budget is always our tithe. It's not really a bill, but it is the most important thing in our budget, and this month we gave $851.66, and this is actually the last month that I am putting the tithe in the bills category. If you've watched my June budget, you know that I've kind of shifted my sheet. I actually make this sheet myself for my plum paper planner. That's where I'm doing this in. And if you are interested in getting a plum paper planner, I actually have a code for 10% off if you're a new customer. So I will leave my email in the comments or in the description, and you can email me and request that code if you want it. I know that we're entering like a new season. I know some people change planners in July. I love plum paper, but anyway, back to my budget. Our mortgage, it's always $1,200. This is a static number because I just set it up to pay that much, and I think our mortgage, I haven't gotten, like, I don't know when our property taxes are going to increase, but I think that because we never got a letter, which we're supposed to do in April, but I think that they're going to increase by about $40. So our actual mortgage amount was $1,161, and I just rounded it up to $1,200. So I think that for now, if it increases to actually $1,200, I'm just going to keep paying that. And then when we finish paying off my student loans, probably increase that number to $1,250. Just because I want to be putting a little bit extra towards our mortgage, but it's at such a low interest rate. We have like a 2.8% interest, so I'm not super worried about paying that off right now. And then my phone bill is always $44, and I just pay that to my mom. Our Wi-Fi is $69.81. Electricity, I already knew what it was going to be when I made this budget. It was $23.46, which is so low, and all of our bills for this new house that we've moved into, which if you haven't seen my videos, we just moved in April after finishing a month of renovations after having rented out our house for 6 months. So it's kind of a long story, but we just don't really have like a set amount because it fluctuates so much. Like sometimes our electricity bill is $150, and then this I think is for when we were doing the renovations, but we weren't actually staying there. So I think that's why it's lower this month. I don't know. It's all over the place, but that's how much that was. Our water bill was $72.59, and I didn't know the amount when I made this budget. I was just budgeting off the previous month. So that's good. Natural gas was only $8.59. Again, I don't know what's up with this. It's so whack. And then car insurance was $153.93. It always is. And then health insurance was $160.37. So our total amount in this category was $25.84.41. And again, it is higher than we planned because we tithed more because we made some more income. So that's why I moved the tithe out of there, so that I could really see if my bills were more than I was planning for. And then I have this debt category, but I haven't been paying on my student loans since they've been in forbearance. I've just been putting the amount in a dedicated savings account. So I keep that there, but there's nothing going in there right now. And then on the other page, start with my expenses. In this category, we had some fails. We got a little whack. Just a lot happened. So in groceries and household, budgeted $400, which is what I always budget, and we actually spent $425.10. And I think we spent more this month because during the last week of the month, like I said, we were on a trip. We went to North Carolina for 2 weeks, and it was 1 week in May, 1 week in June. And we had to get some groceries for a trip so that we weren't eating out every day. But we didn't get, I don't know, like just the way it worked out, kind of getting groceries for those 2 weeks, it just caused us to go over. And I did count that as a grocery cost, even though it was on vacation. I waffled on like what to count as what, but I figured that we would have been eating groceries at home anyway, so I included it as like a regular cost. And then with eating out, I did the same thing. So when I had made this May budget, when I filmed it, I didn't know that that was back in April, and I didn't know that we were going to be gone for a week in May. We were just initially supposed to be gone for a week in June, so I didn't plan on that. So we did end up eating out more than I had planned. So that was $216.60. And I'm not going to beat us up over that because, eating out is something that you just tend to do more on a trip. I just am really needing to rein this in, mostly for at home. Like, I should have thought about this, and we should have ate out less before our trip to kind of compensate for that. But what can you do? And then gas, we overspent on this category too. It's $97.05. I think that was 2 fill-ups each, or maybe 1 fill-up for me and 2 fill-ups for Jared. But either way, just a lot more driving than usual. So I think I am going to increase that going forward. When I made this, I used to budget $80 for gas, I think, for myself. But then I started working completely from home because of the pandemic, and we got married right as the pandemic started, so I didn't really know like what was a norm for us. So I think as we're getting back into the swing of things, I need to just keep increasing that category to be more accurate. And then for Jared's allowance, we each always get $100 a month, and he only spent $49.47 this month. I, on the other hand, overspent because I got a haircut and color that I hadn't planned on getting when I made this budget. So that was total, I spent $180.81. And I really should like make an envelope for, I used to have a beauty category, but it's not a sinking fund. It was just like a monthly category fund. And I really should start a sinking fund for that because it's like a pretty big expense, but I only do it like once or twice a year. So I will change that going forward. And then subscriptions, we had $62.39. And this includes like Apple Music, Apple, just all of our storage. We have to pay for storage through the cloud. And we have like Dollar Shave Club and the New York Times subscription, and I think a couple other really little things, but that's how much it ended up being. And then gifts. Okay, so here's where it starts to get a little messy. When I made this budget, I was workshopping what was going to work best for me. So I will actually show you in June what I have started to do, because this is kind of what I started to do midway through May. So I will have to like use a lot of whiteout on this page to make it work the way I want it to. But in June, this is my budget for June. What I started doing is I changed things. I used to keep things like gifts, travel, house reno, like as an expense, but then I also had a sinking fund for them. And if I didn't spend all of it, I would put the rest in the sinking fund. But it was kind of confusing to track. I'll show you a month where I did that, probably in like February. It just wasn't, I don't know, working super well. Like here's what I did there. So here's like travel and then travel down there. Just, you can see. But that was not working. So what I did was I changed it like you just saw in June and to be where like it's all just in the sinking fund and I do how much I add, how much I subtract, and how much I end with. So for gifts, like I added $60 and I'm just gonna honestly just use my whiteout. This is my trusty guy. And I had planned, I had $20 in my sinking fund to start at the month because I have a lot of birthdays and like people who need gifts at the beginning of the year. It's just, I don't know, front heavy. So I had planned to not add any and spend all 60, but what actually happened is that I added 60. And as you can see, this was not enough room to do this. I subtracted $49.51 on the gift we bought. So I ended the month with $30.49 in that category. So that's what I'm going to do it moving forward. But I gave each thing their own category now, which is much better. But, so that one, miscellaneous, which still lives up here, we spent $112.26. Sorry, this is all over the place. But we had a little extra expense because we had to buy another air mattress, which was like $70. And then it started leaking, which is very upsetting. We had family come stay with me in May. So we were like, we need a second air mattress. And then it didn't even work. But you live and you learn, I guess. And then this next category, travel, is also one that is just going in the bottom. So travel, which is going to make this sheet look so weird and ugly, but it is what it is. And we started the month with $42. We added, so I had put $250 there and $100 to spend is kind of what I thought, which is $350. So what I just did was like we added $350. And then while we were on our trip, and we paid for like parking at the airport, a couple other things, we spent $302.18. So we ended the month with $89.82 in that category. And then house, I kept that up here. It's not really a sinking fund, and we definitely overspent in this category. I spent $467.35. We bought some Adirondack chairs because Wayfair was having a sale. But we had planned to get them. We just didn't have enough in the budget this month. But since we had some extra income, I kind of rationalized it. I'm trying to stick better to the budget for that in the future, but that's just how it went in May. So then I will delete this Reno category off of this section and change this because now like we don't actually have all those other things. So the amount of these things was $13.80 and we ended up spending $1,628.37. So pretty over budget in this category, mostly in the house and then also in my haircut. So hopefully next month will be better. And then in the back to the savings category, a mess. So sorry. Our emergency fund, we added $100 and we didn't take any out. So we ended the month with $5,540. We ended up, I'll do this. We didn't have anything in our home maintenance, but we actually like added $400 that I had intended to spend all of, but we didn't end up spending all of it, which is good. We only spent $164.59. So we ended the month with $235.41 in that category. Then investments, this one is actually kind of hard to track because like we like I put in here a start number, but then what I add doesn't always equal like start plus add to end because of market appreciation. We actually added $117, and this is mostly to my Roth IRA, which we are working on just a little bit right now. Not a whole lot because our like main goal is finishing off my student loan debt. But we ended up putting $117 to my Roth IRA, a few single stock options, and then we opened Jared's Roth IRA this month. with just a little bit. We're going to start adding to that too. So we ended the month with $14.84.21. And then our needed travel, gifts, Christmas. We are not obviously spending anything on Christmas right now, so that's $0. We added $20, so now there's $80 in there. Health, we added 70. Oh, I actually changed this because I wanted to just put more towards debt. So we actually only put 50 towards health because there's kind of a lot in there now. So I just felt like we didn't need to be adding as big chunks because we got it started. And then we didn't use any, so now we have $675. And then auto, that's another one that we did. I changed it after this video that I made. We just did 100, and we actually had to spend $60. Okay, so I just finished filling everything out, and then I realized that my camera cut off and stopped filming before I finished. So I filled this all out now, but I just wanted to say that our last thing that we're putting everything towards is my student loan debt, which is going in a savings account, and we were able to put $1,935.19 to that this month. So the balance, subtracting how much we saved versus how much I owe, is now under $6,000. Very exciting. So thank you for hanging in there with me, watching all of my real-time changes. I'm just always trying to continually improve how I do things, so you get to be a part of that. So I will see you guys next week. Bye.